Hey everybody, welcome to Poor Man's Guitar again. Today is going to be, I'm going to give you how to really get fast at guitar. I'm talking like over 200 beats per minute doing picking strokes with your right hand, and then eventually you just got to get your left hand synced up with your right. But this is one of the all important ones, is your right hand, because if you can't keep that rhythm going with accents and so forth, it's going to get, it's going to make your left hand a lot harder in a sense when it comes to trying to learn the lead play or whatever. Okay, so this is the absolute way to get it. Trust me, it'll take you 1 month if you do it like this, okay? So the answer is definitely metronome. I'm sure you've heard this with other people a million times, right? So we're going to be using metronome. And what I'm not going to do it like this because it's going to take too long of a video, but when you do it, all you got to do is start off at some normal beat that's good for you per se, right? Like whatever this, I don't even know what this is, but so you get the idea, right? So what I want you to do is start off with some beat that's comfortable like that for you, and then just do it for about, I don't know, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. Make sure you got the feel. And I want you to accent every note on that beat. Make sure you have a metronome that hits the block on the first beat, or a ding or something. So you always need to be counting in your head too with the metronome, because this is also going to keep you. Don't rely just hearing on the metronome. Count in your head, because it's really actually going to help you. So just start going, you know, 1 E and 1 E and 2 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and so you get the idea, right? 1 E and or you can go 1 banana, 2 banana. People have their own little things they use, but you can also go 1 2 3 4 if you want, but that's going to be hard to keep up once you get fast. So 1 E and kind of rolls off the tongue better. Okay, so let me get started and let me show you what you'll develop and what you need to do on the guitar, like what actual exercises with this. Like you'll see me doing these little, these little fret change things when I'm practicing. So it's essential you do these two, because it's going to help you when you switch strings. Okay, so let's get started here. What do we got? Okay, hopefully you guys can hear that. Okay, so this is just 70 beats per minute right now, okay? So let's get started. Excuse me, COVID, just kidding. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 5 E and 6 E and 1 E and 2 E and 1 E and 2 E and 1 E and 1 E and. Okay, I'll stop that because that gets a little annoying. Okay, so there we go. And you see what I was doing, how I was switching this. Now, when I'm doing directional picking. I suggest you always do directional economy picking, because your alternate picking will go with whatever, when you're on that string in that direction per se, it'll continue. So, excuse me. So what you need to do is we're going down, starting with down. So down, up, 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 down, up. Now, since we're coming up, you're going to start on the up. So you're going to have to accent and get used to the up stroke with the accent. So you have to go 1 E and then 2 E and 3 E and so we're back to downstroke now. Then upstroke accented, downstroke accented, You hear the accents? Now, what you also need to do, because most people have issues with their upstroke, you also need to do this. So when you're just sitting here going, Rihanna, 2 Rihanna, 3 Rihanna, 4 Rihanna, do start with an upstroke instead. So you're practicing the accent on the upstroke. So 1 Rihanna, 2 Rihanna, 3 Rihanna, 4 Rihanna. And when you go slow, exaggerate the accent because you're able to when you're going slow. When you go fast, it's not so easy to exaggerate, but do it when you're going slow, okay? So you get used to it. And some people will hit harder. Some people will just dig the pick down a little more on the string to get the accent. So it's up to you, but you got to kind of get used to doing that. Make sure you're always hitting a little bit harder or strike the pick down a bit more to get a harder hit on the accent. So I'm jumping it up now to, what is it, 91, okay? So I'm going to jump by large values, but I don't want you to go by large values. When you start off, let's say it's 60 beats per minute, only go up by 5 and do this for a week. But you need to do it by 5 until you get to a point where you can sort of get it, but then you start slopping out. But trust me, the next day it'll be different. You'll be more improved. You'll be able to go another 5 and no slop and so forth. So let's give this a shot so I can show what I mean in some of the exercises. Now, did you see that last couple I just did there? I actually switched my strokes. If you noticed, I switched my accents. I went from down, then went to up. You're not going to have a lot of time to do things like that when it's really fast, but practice doing all sorts of different ways of getting that upstroke in on an accent somewhere. Switch it around when you're just doing a single string, you know. Up, down, up, down, you know, so forth. Just switch it around. But like I said, you're not going to be able to do that once you get super fast. It'll be a lot harder. So again, I'm going to show you faster speeds just to show you that this is going to work, man. So now we're at 110, okay? And to start it, sometimes if you think, oh, I can't really get it, do this. Just go with the accent. Go 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. And get used to the click. You know what I mean? Then it'll come in for you. I gotta start this again. I'm screwing me up. Now, I don't know if you can see in the camera, but you notice I was doing an upstroke on the last one. Again, I switched to just doing the upstroke on the accent because that is usually going to be the weaker point on guys. And once you get used to the accent with the upstring or the upstroke, like I'm talking about with these exercises, just doing this silly, stupid little things we're doing here, it's actually going to get your alternate picking much better now too. You'll start noticing all this stuff, and make sure when you're playing that you only hold the pick like literally like you know this much or something. You know what I mean? Like don't have a lot sticking out. Don't do one of those. Try to do it here, and I do. If you noticed a bit of a closed fist, sometimes I get open like this, sometimes I don't. It all depends on who you are. But I would suggest you start like this and don't like rest here, but don't put your hand down here. Even if you see me doing it now, it's because it's a different story right now once you get good at it. But I would suggest at the beginning you really keep your hand floating above, and once you get used to that. Once you get used to it floating above, then you can start relaxing them more to get the muty sound, okay? Because believe me, once you get precise with the float, everything else is gravy from there, okay? So I suggest you try these literally with your hand floating in the air. Do not rest the palm. Like just, just simple things like this, and keep it off the strings. It doesn't matter if you're getting ringing right now or anything like that. We're not concerned with that right now, but eventually we're going to start muting that ringing, okay? So again, let's go higher. See if I can get any higher here. Here, I'll put it at 130. Okay, I'll put it into 130. This is obviously a big jump. My hands are so sweaty right now, but let's give this some tries. See if I can get into it. Remember, okay, you seen what kind of dorky little exercise I was doing there again? Just up and down, just one string, one string at a time. Because when you do this, you know your accent's about to start every time you switch a fret. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But remember, if you're going back up, you start the accent with the ups. This is why you switch strings, so it gives you practice with the ups. So upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, downstroke. So it's important you do this. I can't stress it enough. And make sure metronome, 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 and count in your head, because I'm usually counting in my head. I'm doing 1 Iana, 1 Iana, or whatever number I choose to go with it. I might count up to 10 or something, but 1 Iana, 2 Iana, 1 Iana, 2 Iana, 1. That's what I do. So let's even go higher here. Let's see if I can do it. Oh, and by the way, I stress you warm up a bit too. Nice and slow. Here's 154. God, my hands are so sweaty. It's sliding here. Starting to get sloppy there. Ooh, should have warmed up a little more. But anyways, um, you see again the dorky, the dorky little movements of the frets, right? But you gotta practice. And you noticed when I was switching the upstroke on there, that's when it was starting to slop me a bit. But anyways, let's try a faster speed. Let's try 180. How's that? So here's 180. As you can see, I was starting to get a little tense. I was starting to grind my teeth, and I actually was aware of that. So I actually had to start relaxing. But you see, as you get faster, it starts getting a little more tensy, right? So you got to try to be aware of that. As you just seen, my mistake right there was starting to get tense. You could see I was starting to grind my teeth, and I noticed it. I tend to do that sometimes, and I'm really concentrating, getting tense. But I can, when I practice, once I'm warmed up and get used to it, and you'll find this, that you can actually, you'll start getting to be naturally, and you can actually not even concentrate so much, and you'll just start doing it, and you'll start relaxing more. You'll start realizing, oh, I just, you're doing this, and you can talk away now where you're doing a fast beat. So let's go even further. I've hit 240 is my slot point. So let's go 210. 210. Yeah, that's pretty crazy, right? Yeah. That's a bit insane, eh? But you get the idea. Yeah, you see how, and then once I come up to the up, definitely even for myself, once I get up really high with these beats per minute, and I gotta do the upstroke. Oh, it's because that's everybody's weak point really in life, unless you're Marty Friedman, who learned thinking upstroking was the way you're supposed to play a guitar, but it done him well, obviously. Getting stuck in that habit and then realizing later on. But yeah, so you'll notice that's my weak point also, is the up once I'm going super fast. I'll try one more speed here. Let's see if we can do, okay, here's 230, because if I do 240, I know I'll slop out already. So we'll try 230. Insanity. get the idea. It's insanity, right? Oh God. So that's my suggestion to you is you need to do all that. That's going to get this thing much, much, much faster. And let me come down to kind of a little bit of a more normal of a, well, maybe not so normal for you. Here's 180. So I'm just going to stay on one string. You get the idea, right? So you need to be doing the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and if you can't, when it gets so fast, I sometimes just go 1, 2, 3, 4. Like I'm actually not doing the subdivisions anymore because they're so fast. I'm just hitting the accents, going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So definitely get a metronome and one that makes the ding or a harder bang on that first beat. Okay, so it should be like how you hear the giant click, tick, 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 click, tick, tick, tick. You need a metronome like that so you hear the accents. Okay. The one I use is actually it's metronome.us. There's no E at the end of it. So metronome.us. It's actually a really good one. It's the best I prefer out of all that I could find out there for online. Okay. So again, that's the real secret to speed with your right hand is just to do those things of the metronome. So remember, when you're just starting out with your low speed, only go up 5 every, like, you know, if you got it for 20 seconds, 1, 2, 3, 4, you can do that for 20 seconds, then yeah, definitely bump it up another 5. See if you can and keep doing that. It'll take about maybe 15 minutes to time you're up to maybe some speed where you're really slopping out. It might not, but it should only take about 15 minutes before you hit some slop speed somewhere. Okay, so do that. Practice the, like I said, the back and forth, because every time you switch a fret, it's going to be on the accent. It's going to help you to get into the proper beat. Because if you noticed on the last when I was doing the 220 and stuff like that, or the 230, I was lacking a little slow. I was behind the beat in a few spots, but because once I do the fret switching, it gets me back in, because I know that I'm switching on click, 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 click. So this is kind of or sorry, I shouldn't swear. This is kind of just doing its thing, but I'm listening for click, 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 and then it'll be easier to get it once you get it super fast speeds. Okay, so any questions, whatever, just put them in the comments. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video in about I don't know, maybe a week, a day, month, I don't know. This depends when I get around things. I got a little more time now. Okay, see you guys later. Bye bye.